So, as I said, I'll be presenting Decentralized Autonomous Organizations to you. And for the agenda, I will be telling you what is a DAO, so very basic things. And I brought two industry examples of DAOs. So, what is a DAO? In the current context and how people are using the word, DAOs can be a lot of things. So, here's three categories, like decentralized, autonomous, and organization. And you can basically right now build your DAO as you like to have it. So it can be based on a public blockchain. It can be decentralized on an infrastructure level. It can be decentralized on an application level. It can be autonomous in the sense that there's autonomous decision making, autonomous execution of proposals, for example, that it has notary, that it has predetermined voting rules, or transparency. And it has to be an organization with things like updates on code through democratic voting, smart contract code at its core. The code should be open source. There's storage of value, this one is important. There's transaction of value, this is also pretty important. And that it rewards externals for work, otherwise you don't really have an organization. But what does that really mean in the context of existing DAOs? So I brought you MakerDAO and NounsDAO, and let's jump into Maker. Maker is a decentralized autonomous organization that issues the stablecoin DAI. So stablecoins are always worth 1 unit of something. In this case, it's $1. Except if it's not, that's very important here, and it has the governance token Maker. If we now look at the properties I've shown you before, Maker has quite a lot, so I would consider it to be pretty major. So it's based on the public blockchain, has autonomous execution, voting rules, transparency, and all of the organizational features. So maybe a very small recap about stablecoins, because the core of the business of MakerDAO is issuing a stablecoin. So some of you might not know how they work, so I'll go over them again. So those are the three main stablecoins we have right now. USDC, which is from Circle. Circle is a central entity. USDT from Tether. Tether is also a central entity. And DAI, which is the token of MakerDAO. USDC and USDT are backed by fiat commodity and some crypto, mostly fiat and commodity, while DAI is completely backed by crypto. Also, for the arbitrage behavior, to keep a stablecoin stable, you need two forces. You need a buying force when the price is below. When the price is above $1, and you need the way around. You need buying and selling pressure to keep it exactly at $1. So at Circle, where you have the centralized entity, which is important here because Maker replaces that centralized entity, you can mint $1 worth of USDC, so one token of USDC, by going to Circle and turning it into, well, USDC. So you basically make a wire transfer to the central entity Circle, and then they issue token equivalent to the wire transfer to your address, and then you have the stable coins. When the price is now above $1, then you need to keep it, then you need to push it down because you wanted to have it exactly at $1. So what you can do is go to the market and sell all your USDC that you have just created at Tether, and sell it on the market, and you can get $1.01 or $1.02 on the market, making a nice arbitrage profit. On the other hand, if the price is below the peg, you can buy on the market and then have USDC that's worth $1, but you bought it for 98 cents. So, yeah. For stable coins, so in case here, one DAI, so that a token of Maker is worth $1. So for the Maker protocol, first, it's built on Ethereum. Anyone with a wallet can generate DAI and use the system, and Maker is permissionless by design. So Maker itself does not have a smart contract where they just mint DAI and give it to you and pocket some money, but they have smart contracts that allow you to do this. Those smart contracts are called vaults. And vaults are a tool to generate the stablecoin by locking up collateral. Let's see how this looks in practice. So imagine we want to create stablecoins, the stablecoin DAI. We deposit 20 Ethereum. We assume that one Ethereum is $1,732. So in total, something around 35,000 US dollars. And then we create this vault contract. Collateral, we assume the collateral that we need is 180%, because we always need more collateral than we deposit, because otherwise if the price of Ethereum drops, the worth of the stablecoin would also drop. So we have to keep a safety margin, and in this case it's 180%. So what that means is from our about 35,000 US dollars, we can borrow 19,500 DAI from this vault without getting liquidated. Important here is if we do not keep the safety margin, so let's say we withdraw 20,000 DAI, our vault immediately gets liquidated and we lose all of our money. So therefore we always have to stay below the safety margin. For the liquidations, there's three types of liquidations. There is flip, flop, and flap. Flip basically sells the under-collateralized vaults in an auction. So when you fail to hold your safety margin by borrowing too many stablecoins, or when the price of your collateral drops, your vault will be sold on the market so that the Maker system does not make a loss on your stablecoins borrowing, because in a permissionless system, no one can take your stablecoins away from you. So you will always keep those DAI, but well, the system has to pay for it. That's why we have flip. Then we have flop in case the collateral for some coin was not enough, or the collateral that was put into the system is not enough to cover the bad debt that was created through that vault. We need Maker sells the Maker token to cover this bad system debt. On the other hand, if the system works very well and the system is making profit, then we have the flap auctions where they can buy Maker and burn the surplus DAI. Now, keeping that stablecoin stable, you need the selling and the buying pressure. This is done through the DSR and the PSM modules. If DAI is above the peg, you have a stability fee and the PSM. Stability fee goes directly to Maker, so you're creating a vault, you're borrowing money there, and you're paying basically an interest on this. And at the PSM, you can, instead of creating a vault and having a safety margin, you can directly swap collateral to DAI for a fixed rate. This will increase the DAI price. And the selling pressure is related, but I'll skip this one. The problem, so you've seen Maker is very mature in the sense of its features. It has a clear business plan, everything is on-chain, but the ownership of the Maker token is not so decentralized, because Maker is completely owned by venture capitals. They basically had three big sales to A16Z, again to A16Z and Paradigm and Dragonfly, and a few others. And if you look at the tokenomics of Maker, then 100% went to founders and the project itself. Well, this is pretty bad for a decentralized system, because basically the complete control is at venture capitals and related, which makes this a kind of centralized, decentralized organization. Quickly to the governance. So every DAO has governance where you can put up proposals, change the protocol, change data. And there's three main actors. There's the governors, there is users, and there is maintainers, and they are all connected over the Maker protocol. So users are DAI holders and the vault owners, so the people just using the DAI. Maintainers are individual developers that are rewarded for their work. Governors that govern the protocol, so those make the decision on Maker. Yeah, skipping this one. Here you can see a few example proposals of Maker where they propose changes to the protocol. And here's one proposal in detail. So the governors that actually govern the protocol are paid to do so, and the stake that is delegated to them, they're basically getting rewarded for it. Therefore, the governance of Maker is very sophisticated, and every proposal is really thought through, and it's completely on-chain, meaning they propose, for example, a change to the safety margin of the vaults, and this code is directly embedded into the proposal and can get executed on-chain. Meaning there is no person that has to ratify the proposal, but rather that the protocol itself ratifies it. And here's, for example, a voting breakdown where you have yes and no votes for a proposal and all the details. And you can also see the voting by address. The shadow delegate, for example, owns 27% of all Maker. Yeah. There's also a shutdown module, so in case something really bad happens, you can, the Maker DAO owners or the token holders can gracefully shut down the protocol by depositing into a smart contract. It will gracefully settle all vaults and be ended. Then, Nouns DAO. It works very differently because this one doesn't really have a business model, but it's really decentralized. Looking at Nouns DAO, they don't do updates on smart contract code. Otherwise, same as Maker. So, pretty major. What do they do? There is an auction. So, for every day of the year, forever, there is one noun getting generated on-chain. So basically you go to the Nouns website and an NFT, there is a different NFT each day that is auctioned away to the highest bidder. And then when you win the bid, you get the NFT and you get to take part in the proposal. The interesting thing about it is that there's no artist behind this. It's all generated on-chain. And therefore, it's one noun forever until no one uses the DAO anymore, which makes this very interesting. Nouns also has governance, but it's mostly marketing things or how do we spend our money, because the Ethereum that is collected in these auctions is put into a treasury, and all Nouns owners can collectively decide what to do with the money. And here, well, there is a collab, there's more collabs and some NFT, some NFT proposals. So they cannot really make changes to the protocol itself, but they can just spend the money. It looks like this. There's a preliminary discussion, what to do, and then voting is done per noun. So you get one vote per NFT. There's not a single person that owns like 80% of the tokens or 30%. There's a few people owning a few nouns, but in most cases it's one or two noun per person. Yeah. Then there's a few other notable DAOs, like Uniswap. Uniswap DAO governs the Uniswap DEX that you probably know. Then we have a DAO governing the Aave lending protocol. We have a DAO governing or Gitcoin acts as a DAO. We have Education DAO and Genesis Go and Friends with Benefits. So there's really a few DAOs out there. Lastly, we also have the Pretzel DAO in Munich. That is, I also put the features on here. It's not based on a public blockchain. It's like a social DAO, but it's decentralized on an application level. It's transparent and has voting rules. Yeah, so look it up and join us. Questions?